Peace, family, peace. Welcome to Conversations with Constance. So I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes or so for everyone to come into the room. We're going to chop it up real quick. This is not a topic that I would typically discuss on my channel. But since last night we were discussing this topic, I figure why not discuss this? So I'm going to give it a couple minutes or so. And this is something that I've been wanting to talk to everyone about. Hey, whoever that is, thank you for joining. Thank y'all for joining. Welcome to Conversations with Constance. Hey, Tyler, thank you for joining us tonight. As I was saying just now, this is a topic that we kind of touched on a little bit in the live last night. The live got real live last night. We had a really good time. So I wanted to discuss Willie Lynch and the Willie Lynch syndrome or the Willie Lynch letters. And I know many of you have probably read, or thank you, many of you have probably read about the Willie Lynch letters, about how those letters were essentially used to control slaves, used to divide the Black woman and the Black man. And so since we didn't talk about the Willie Lynch letters last night in detail, but Brother Randy, and I'll read his message. Brother Randy, hey, Sister Becky, hey. He came on and he was telling us a little bit about cultural conditioning in the in the chat last night. And so we didn't get a chance to dive deep into it. So I just wanted to talk about it again tonight, and we want to touch on Willie Lynch. Now, I do want to advise that if you do your research, people are going to say that Willie Lynch never existed, that was just a hoax or whatever. But whether that person actually wrote that letter, those effects are still with us to this day. There's still a great divide between the Black woman. Hey, Sister Shanika. Hey, thank y'all for joining on tonight. Thank you. And I will be having a special guest coming on sometime soon to join the conversation with me. We are going to chop it up. Welcome again to Conversations with Constance. We are going to be breaking this down. If you have an opinion, or because I'm from the South. I grew up in the country, and not too far from Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston, South Carolina was like a big slave port where a lot of the slaves used to come in from Charleston. And in the South where I grew up, I haven't experienced, I'm not going to lie, a lot of racism. But when it came to corporate America, there was subtle racism. So tonight, we're going to tackle the issue of, is it still the Willie Lynch syndrome, whether it's real or not? We know that those things really did happen to our people. Does it still affect us today, and why? And how can we break those invisible chains? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put on a little music, because I'm going to send this request to my brother who may be joining me tonight. And I hope y'all are doing good. And thank you, anybody who joined. We're gonna chop it up. And I just want to say I respect everybody's opinion. Like my brother Akintunde says, this is not an all Black channel. This is not an all, we don't hate white people on this channel. We don't hate Black people on this channel. We don't hate Mexicans on this channel. We don't hate pizza on this channel. We are just expressing ourselves. We are just talking and sharing. So that's what we gonna do tonight. So let me get y'all probably don't know Akintunde. Let me put some music on right quick, and I'm about to do the ad for my brother. Hey, Randy. Hey, Randy is the one who started this conversation off, okay? So, Randy, I'm expecting you to be dropping some knowledge in that chat box, okay? I'm expecting you to be dropping some dimes for all of us. And I'm not sure about everyone in the building, But I love Black history. I love, you was to come over to my place, you would see my Marcus Garvey books, you would see my Black history books, you would see my Malcolm X books. I'm a lover. I'm a lover of Black history. That's like one of my favorite things. I'm about to send this request to my brother really quickly, and then we can chat, because I didn't really want to start too deep without him being here, because I know he gonna chop it up, and you know, like, this is one of his subjects. So, you know, I'm gonna see if he gonna come on. Just give me a second, y'all. Just give me a second.
Two can play that game, but they are not the same. One walking in the truth, the other going the wrong way. Hey, see,
just give me a second. I'm about to add my brother on.
The way she carries herself, walking proud, trusting in you. Who I press one thing won't be second to her. Strength and honors in what she wears. She not afraid when the haters look instead. The Lord kindness is in her heart. It will show up my shield. When she need protection from the skies around, she has a key she can go to take them down. I'll tell you, this is not a game. This woman is
okay.
The same.
Okay, let me get these chats back up. Okay, before we start, I have a couple of announcements before we start. You said, Sister Becky said you're a lover of Black culture. Me too. I'm a lover of all cultures, Sister Becky. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it real. I love all cultures. What I want to say is, I want to kind of tell y'all where I'm at right now, so y'all know, you know, where the channel is going and stuff. So what I want to say is, I love y'all very much. Thank you so much for anyone who has ever clicked on a video, who has ever left me a message, dropped me an email. I just want to say I love y'all with all of my heart, genuinely. And I want to tell you how powerful love is, because, you know, love, sometimes when we give it out, we're planting seeds. And even if we cannot see those seeds flourish, we still got to move on. We're planting seeds, and those seeds are going to get watered, and they will come. They will grow eventually. So what I wanted to say is, I was at work the other day, and this man just tells me out of the blue, he's like, I love you. He was like, I don't know him. Out of the blue, he's like, I love you. I just want you to know that I love you. And when he said it, it was so beautiful. And I'm a sensitive person. Y'all know that. And it just touched my heart, because I know he was coming from a sincere place. And he wasn't coming from a place of lust. He wasn't coming from a place of, I want to get with you. He just wanted me to know that I was sincerely loved. And the reason why I'm telling y'all that is because that's the purpose of this channel. That's the purpose of me posting videos, to let strangers or people I do know personally know that they are genuinely loved. Now, whether they receive that love, that has nothing to do with me. But it's imperative, as I was placed on this earth, to be a messenger of light and love, to give that love, not necessarily expecting anything in return, but to give it freely, because Christ gave it freely to me. And what I want to say, beautiful, beloved family, there's power in forgiveness. There's power in moving forward. There's power in genuinely loving yourself and nourishing those seeds of greatness within you. I say that because I am nourishing those seeds of greatness within myself. So I'm going to be on here, but I'm not going to be on here that much. And the reason being, oh, I love you too. I love you too, Shanika. I love you too. The reason being, and I love you too, Sister Queen Becky. The reason being is because I'm going back to school, y'all. So I'm not going to be on here like I used to. And I also have a book that I am writing that is going to be honestly my main focus. So I will be on here doing the 90-day health challenge because I'm not letting that go. And, you know, I will never let that go. And I will have on guests. I will still have guests on because we have some great people coming up. And y'all talking about funny, and you have some people that know me from college that will be coming up. They may have some crazy stories. So we're still going to be doing conversations with Constance. It's just my focus is on, honestly, my major focus is getting my book completed and also going back to school. That is honestly, genuinely my major focus. So I just wanted y'all to know that, just in case y'all don't see me on here like that every day. I love you too, Chad. I love all of y'all. I love every single person. Hey, Sister Taylor, love you too. And your videos are awesome. Congratulations on your new endeavors. Thank you so much. Congratulations on book and school. Yes. Let me tell you something. I know we were supposed to be talking about this psychological effects of, you know, the Willie Lynch letters and how it affected Black people. But what's on my heart today, honestly, we can still talk about it and my brother may still come on. What's on my heart is love. What's on my heart is forgiveness. What's on my heart is moving forward. And that's genuinely what I wanted to talk about. We can still talk about, you know, the conditioning, the social conditioning. And that was something that I had set up, and that's something that I researched because I'm a lover of Black history. And it hurts my heart the way our people are broken down. But I wanted to convey a message of love. Not to say y'all still won't get messages of love from me, because you will, but that's the reason why I'm here. So instead of necessarily us talking about the topic, if my brother come on, he knows more about it. So if he comes on, you know, we can talk about it from there. But I wanted to talk about how beautiful it is to actually pursue the gifts and the seeds of greatness within yourself. It's a very beautiful thing. All of us, all of y'all that are in this comment section right now are very beautiful people, and you're also writers. Taylor has a blog. If you like to share your blog, Taylor, you can put the blog in the chat if you would like to share it. Sister Becky is an awesome teacher. She's an awesome teacher, and God is, you know, she's spending her time with the Lord and building herself up. My beloved Sister Shanika, I love you so much. You know, you have encouraged me a lot. And I just remember Shanika sent me a card in the mail. And I remember she sent me that card, and I don't want to start crying. And I wasn't expecting anything from anybody. And she sent me that card, and she just said a really sweet message. It was so sweet. And she didn't know that when she sent me that message, I had needed to hear what she wrote at that time. It said, I found a video on how they broke down the Black woman, so heartbroken. Yes, let me tell you, did any of y'all go and listen to the Willie Lynch, you know, listen to or either read the Willie Lynch letters? It compared the Black man. He was supposedly a slave owner from the West Indies, and he was essentially trying to teach slave owners around the world, or really in the Americas, how to get control of the slaves. And so, and if you like, you can post that that video if you would like to. You can post it later once the video is done, or either in the subscription, you know. So Oh no, Shanika isn't the one. Ebony, Sister Ebony is the one who did the video and sends out the quotes. She's the one who did the Shut Up for a Season. She did that. So it's Sister Ebony's channel. And you'll see her in the comment section on some of my recent videos, but I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send you the link at a later date. But I just wanted to thank Sister Shanika for being a prayer warrior and a word of wisdom for me. She's a very blessed woman. She has a very blessed channel as well. But like Taylor was saying, with the Willie Lynch syndrome, they compared us to horses. They broke down the marriage of the Black woman and the Black man. They also pit us up against each other based off skin complexions. Talked about making the body strong and making the mind weak. And when I listened to it, I read it earlier today, and I also listened to the Audible version. And I'm not gonna lie, it broke my heart. Now, I do know that everyone, every Black person, every person of color in the United States did not originate from slavery. I know that because I have a personal friend whose family were never slaves, and they stayed on the outskirts of Canada, and they were never slaves. And they had like a reservation, I guess you would call it. And he's Black, but he's like, native. He's from America, and his family was just not slaves. So I know that all of us did not come from that slavery background, but we're still feeling the effects today, as in the breakdown of the family, the breakdown of relationships, and the thought process behind feminism, the thought process behind the Black woman being lifted up and the Black man being left behind, the discrepancy in terms of the prison system. So it's so many things that our ancestors went through today that we're still feeling the effects of spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And what did Taylor say? Is not letting me post my blog. And when I find the video, I'll send it. Okay, you know what? When this video is over, you can post a blog. And I pray that everyone that's on here goes and supports Taylor's blog. She has a beautiful blog where she shares her heart, words of encouragement that the Lord has blessed her to give. So it's very beautiful and it's very encouraging. So with that being said, I was going to bring somebody on here that would have some more detailed information pertaining to this subject, or this is one of their, their subjects that they really love to speak on. But if the person doesn't come on, we'll just keep on flowing. But I just want to say that I can feel those effects still today. And I want to read something that that Randy wrote. I want to read something that Brother Randy wrote. You're very welcome. And I tell everyone, like, Taylor, I know you should write a book. You should start, because you're already doing a great job as as a writer. And I was like, I know you have so much to share. And my thing was, let me find Randy's message. My thing was, what I realized, we can still talk about the Willie Lynch syndrome and stuff too, but what I realized is that I love helping people. I love encouraging people. But the reason why I'm going back to school is because I actually want to do it on a greater scale. And I know that, I'll still be doing my YouTube channel and stuff like that. But I want to have some of those, some of the stuff that I was taught in school to help me as well. So it's kind of like a refresher, and it's super exciting, and it's a new start for me. And so I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for where I'm going with my health, and because that's getting better. I'm thankful for balance in my life, and I'm thankful that the Lord is showing me not to lean to my own understanding about where I'm at in life, but just thank God for where I'm at and keep on moving forward. So in the book, I'm going to talk about my life. I'm going to share some of the things that hurt me, some of the things that helped me. And I feel like we all have a book, no matter who we are. We all have several books. But it's just the thing is, are you going to allow what's in you to come out and be a blessing to others? Because whatever pain you have, you didn't go through that pain you didn't go through that pain for yourself. You didn't go through that hardship for yourself. You went through that, so you have a testimony. And it's just that sometimes life and adversity can get the best of us, and we don't want to pursue those gifts. Some of these people that come to my channel don't even know that I'm a poet, because I don't share much of my poetry, and writing, was a passion for me. I just got discouraged with it. So my whole purpose to tell everyone is to pursue your dreams and your goals. Stop wasting time. That's what that video yesterday was on, giving yourself to the nothingness. And women, if you're single, be encouraged. Be very encouraged. I want you to know that. Thank you. Thank you, beloved Sister Becky. Thank you. I'm actually working on it. Awesome. Awesome. So Taylor, you're working on your book? That's what's up. That's what's up. I tell a lot of people, and they think that, hey, Constance just telling me this just to say something. But no, when I say it, I genuinely mean it with my heart. I genuinely mean it with my heart. So we were supposed to have a guest on that was supposed to come on, but maybe he's not able to come on. But I want to touch on something that Randy said on yesterday in the comment section. You said, "Thanks, Constance. You are such a blessing to me also. Thank you. I thank you, God. Thank God I found your channel. I know God has so much more. Amen, Constance. God bless you. So much more in store. Thank you, beloved. And so much more is also in store for you as well. I think it's just a matter of us actually deciding to believe what Christ has for us in this life. It's just like we go through all this hardship, and sometimes we wonder, like, Lord, why? And I wanted to say, like, I'm just a person that has the courage to speak up. I'm no better than anybody else. I don't think I'm higher than anybody else. I have my own struggles, my own problems, but I also know the reason why I'm sent on this earth, and that's to love, that's to encourage, and that's to motivate. That's the purpose why I'm here. The pathway to the story is to speak about the many steps taken. That's exactly right, Brother Randy. And I was gonna talk about what you said yesterday. You mentioned it's cultural conditioning. This goes back to how this discussion got. We started talking, and I mentioned the Willie Lynch syndrome briefly yesterday. And did anyone, if in the comment sections, anyone got a chance to go and actually listen or either read the letters? Randy said, it's cultural conditioning in America. We are culturally conditioned to believe that white is superior and black is inferior. He also said, and the manifestation of the cultural conditioning, it is the black people who are undervalued, underestimated, and marginalized. And that is true. And to me, that cultural conditioning comes a lot back from our ancestors in slavery. And like I said, I know a lot of people did not experience, a lot of people, families, they did not, some families weren't in slavery, but a good bit were. So, and I still, like I said earlier, when you look at those, you said, amen, I read them. You did. So Shanika, what did you think about what you read? Because when I read it, honestly, it was heartbreaking. The way that he said, he compared, and we don't know if this man ever lived, but we know that these writings are definitely genuine and true, because you can just look at what's going on in our society today. And it seems like our youth and the people over in general, whether black or white, we're being constantly dumbed down. But I wanted to do this message because, you know, we have a lot of resources. We have a lot of time. We have a lot of energy. Sometimes it may not seem like that because I know most of us are working full-time jobs and we have a lot. But with this time, with this energy, it's imperative that we make the most of our lives, because we have to remember that our ancestors died just so that we would be able to get an opportunity for a job, just so that we would be able to go to college. Some people fought just so we would be able to read. So when you think about it, it's like the things that we take for granted today, what we take for granted, somebody else fought hard for it and died for. The fact that you can get in your car and drive, the fact that you, even though some of us are still being harassed, you know, and Randy says, I think he existed just under the alias of Willie Lynch. That makes perfect sense, Randy. That makes perfect sense. I believe he also existed as well, even though people want to say it's a hoax. And it's just heartbreaking to see how separate we are. It's just heartbreaking to see these things play out, even in this current day and time. Heartbreaking to see the breakdown of the family. Shanika said, yes, he compared us to animals and breaking the animals down, talked about the mother training the kids. Yes, that was an essential part, what I heard too, because if the mother would train the kids certain ways, that when they went to, you know, I don't hate to say breed, but they went to create families, that was going to bind that generational curse that he was creating. So when I heard that, I mean, when I heard that we were compared to animals, you know, he was comparing us to the horse. When I heard, you know, about how he wanted to dumb down the mind and strengthen the body, I see that every day in our culture. And it's like it's getting worse. It's like it's a situation where people, like, we live in a fallen world, of course. That's why staying close to the Most High is the best thing that you can do. Repenting, not leaning to your own understanding, is the best thing that you can do. But when I was reading it, and when I also went back and listened to it, it was, yes, Taylor, it was very heartbreaking. It was very heartbreaking. The way that, you know, and as a person, as a Black person, it has affected me. Because even years ago, when I didn't know who myself, I always used to think that I was less than in my mind. I always used to think that I was just a less than person. So these things, knowing this world is temporary. Yes, this world is temporary. Yes, that's true. It's just, it's some of the things are incomprehensible. So it's like, it's nothing, what do we do? And how do we begin to heal those things? That's my question to y'all. Knowing all the separation that's going on within the family, knowing, the breakdown of the family, and then drugs came in, and then feminism and all these different things. And these are just kind of like branches to that one big seed that was planted in our people years and years and years ago. That's why it makes me, honestly, when I read history books, when I go back and read about the things that Malcolm X went through, when I go back and read about the things that that Martin Luther King went through, or that George Washington Carver went through, or that all of our ancestors that created things, but yet they didn't get the acknowledgement for some of their creations. When I go back and think about things like that, that lets me know in my personal life that I got to step it up. Because these people, our ancestors, they died for us just to have the luxuries that we have. And we got to take it serious. Like, we cannot take our privileges for granted. The fact that we can go to school, the fact that we can work, the fact that, you can be in a safe environment. Those are things that you take for granted. And do y'all think that because of those programs that were ran on our people, because they were control programs, you said our true hope and major change is when Jesus Christ comes back. Amen. Amen. And do y'all think that these things are the things that happened in the past are some of the reasons why there's a lot of mental illness in the Black community? There's a lot of just strife, just anger, just bitterness. And you think about all these things, amen. You think about all these things, it's like like you said, like Becky said, it's mind-boggling. And of course, we have to lean to our faith. But I like to look back on my history and know my past so that I can appreciate my now. Because learning what some of our people went through, this really makes me motivated. It really makes me want to get out of my little shell. It really makes me want to push to a higher, most of it, Constance. Oh, yeah. Yeah, most of it. Yeah. It really makes me want to, because does it make y'all want to go out and, you said, I do think so. In the Baltimore at Johns Hopkins, quite a few experiments were done on Black people. Yes, they were. I mean, y'all, it's heartbreaking. I started to tear up. I started to tear up when I was listening to that, because I know, like, even my grandparents, they still use the N-word. I grew up with the N-word not being a problem. And not like my mom and dad said it, but back in the day, that's just what they said. The N-word, I didn't even know the real consequences of that word. I didn't even think of it because they used to use it so freely, not knowing. And it's just like, what also was mind-boggling and hurtful to me is that he referenced the Bible. He referenced the Bible in his, if y'all read it, how, and King James. I mean, I was just mind-boggled. So it's like, with what we have today, we have to fight for greatness. And that's the whole point of this live. We have to decide that we cannot accept mediocrity because our ancestors didn't accept it. And when I say not accepting mediocrity, I'm not telling you to go out and chase the world. I'm not telling you to go out and become famous and do all this. I'm telling you that if you are here and you have lived and you are still living, you need to make your mark. Randy said, sis, it is mental illness and lack of communication relationships with Christ. It is. It's a lot of mental illness, and lack of communication is something that is so sad, because we should be able to communicate our feelings to each other. We should be able to express what happened to us in an honest and sincere way. I think that's also causing a lot of breakdown in the relationships that we have. I think it's causing, a lot of division in the family. And it's just like, even though this world is crazy and all over the place, if you yourself, and like I'm doing with myself, the reason why I decided to go back to school is because I want better for Constance. I know that one day I will be married. I will have children. But while I'm single, I need to always be learning. Not to say that I'm not learning now, but I need to always be learning and bettering myself and open up myself for other opportunities. And so that when I'm ready, when I am indeed ready to go to that next level and get married, me and my husband are going to crush this thing. The things that I've dealt with in my personal life, the things that I've already, it's a wrap. Like it's not continuing on to the next generation. I've already made that decision in my mind. I said to myself, I will not let some of the things that have been generational curses break down my household. And that's why I'm glad the Lord is allowing me to get married in my older age, because I will come to the marriage equipped. Would you say, Randy said Taylor Downing, I read about it recently. So it's very true and very sad. Let me tell you, I was almost in tears hearing about that. Let me tell you, I was almost in tears, and I'm like, our people, and it's just like, I want, that's right, break down those yes, that's why I want y'all. We are here today. We are just a small group of people here today. But can you imagine what you can do with your life? Can you imagine the power that's within you if you just believe in that power? If you believe in that grace, if you believe in what Christ has for you. I refuse to be mediocre. I can't be mediocre, Constance. That's why I was like, I'm going back to school. And I'm gonna start traveling more and doing the things that I want to do. And I'm not going to be, if we are living here today, you need to be not like the world say, living your best life, but you need to be making an impact, whether that's volunteering, whether that's mentoring kids, so you can help somebody else, maybe outside of your family, break their generational curse. We all need to have, I remember my favorite preacher is Dr. Miles Monroe. And it's sad because I was supposed to see him right before he died. He was coming to Charlotte, and he was doing a conference at a church that I was going to. And it was in November, like around Thanksgiving time. And he died before I got to see him. But Miles Monroe said, a lot of people will go to the grave with their gifts and their talents. And see, these gifts, if the Lord gave it to you and you decide to be obedient, he will make room for that. Now, what he makes room for is not comparison in what the world says you should have. So you shouldn't be looking for, you can have goals, but the goal is not to be seen and known by man. The goal is to do the will of Christ. The goal is to humbly be a servant. The goal is to be obedient. And the more obedient that we are, the more faithful that we are, the more loyal that we are, the more fearless that we are, we're breaking down those chains. Everything that you said, everything, what Randy said, Randy, I have not. What about you? And Randy said, has anyone heard of the movie Miss Evers' Boys? Yes, I have. It was a long time ago. I remember Miss Evers' Boys. Is that where they were giving them, oh my goodness, Randy, they were testing them for syphilis. They gave them syphilis, right? Because I watched that movie several times, but I don't remember the breakdown. But they were testing Black men and giving them syphilis inside of a hospital. And you said, you're not supposed to keep your gifts to yourself. Look what happened to the one servant who did not use his talents due to fear. Amen. You have to use everything that the Most High gave you. But look, our people were using their gifts when they were slaves. Can you see the resilience? Our people were using the gifts when they had little or nothing. My point today is to speak to everyone and say, utilize what's given to you, because when you leave this earth, You need to leave a mark that speaks to who Christ says you innately are. Forget what the enemy and the devil is telling you that you're worth. Because in actuality, you are priceless. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. So it is up to you to genuinely receive that and believe that and move forward. There's so many things that we go through, so many trials and tribulations. I just had a king today. He reached out to me and he asked me a profound question. And he asked me a profound question. I wonder if I can find it. I'm not sure if I can find it right now. But it touched my heart. And we conversed a little bit, and I encouraged him. We are here, brothers and sisters, no matter where you're at in life. I don't care what kind of job you have. I don't care what kind of car you drive. It doesn't matter where you live at. You are beautiful. You have something great to offer this world, and you should pursue whatever the Most High has within you, and pursue it with confidence and fearlessness. This is time for us to get out of that nothingness mode, to get out of that distraction. I'm not going to even really be on YouTube that much either. Oh, okay. The movie was based on the Tuskegee, yes, experiment where they were giving poor African men. Yes, I watched that movie. Randy. I remember that. Yes, the Tuskegee, that happened in Alabama. Matter of fact, Shanika, I don't know how far you're away from there, but Shanika's from Alabama. Let me tell you, y'all, we, with all of us, everybody is on the line is so gifted and so talented, is so blessed and has so much to offer the world. And it's like the people who are following the enemy are like, they get a lot of shine, but the people who follow Christ, y'all, let's step it up and let's make sure that we not show the world. It's not about showing the world. It's about believing in what Christ has within you and pursuing those gifts. You have one life. Think about all the hours that you have in a day. My dad used to tell me this all the time, but I was so hard-headed. I was so knuckle, I was so, no, I want to do this. I want to do that. I wish I had listened to my father. I wish I had listened to him, and I'm listening to him now, even though I'm a little bit older. And so I know what Christ has called me here to be. It was a long time. I didn't even know what my purpose in life was. I just know that I was a good person and I loved people and I wanted to encourage people, but I didn't know how I would be able to utilize that purpose. But now that I know, it's imperative that I do what he has called me to do. He said about 3 hours. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. About 3 hours. That's not far, that movie, if y'all can go back and please check it out. I'm sure it's here on YouTube, to be quite honest. That was heartbreaking. You think about everything, and I don't want to cry. Think about everything that's been done to tear us down as people, to get us to hate ourselves, to get us to hate our brothers and sisters, to get us not to support each other. Can somebody please tell me about, I know y'all probably know this, what is it, Black Wall Street? I can't remember where that was at, but that was even torn down, and we were thriving and doing great things. And that was torn down and ripped apart, Black Wall Street. So it seemed like we never can get it together. Like we're not supporting each other enough. Like if someone has a business that please support them. Because it's nothing for us to go into Target and buy something. But from your brother and sister selling soap, they selling something, a good product that they got good customer service, support them. That's what we hear. And I will be doing those videos on people who have their own businesses. I'm still going to be doing those videos, and I probably will be interviewing some entrepreneurs as well. I have some good stuff coming up on this channel, even though I don't plan on to be here every day like I used to be. I have some good stuff. We're going to have like a psychologist come on soon. He's going to talk to us about depression. So we're going to have some good stuff coming on. You said that movie was hard to watch. Yes, it was hard to watch. Did anyone see the Malcolm X movie or either the Nat Turner movie? Let me tell you, I went and watched the Nat Turner movie. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, in that movie theater, y'all, I was in there crying. I was in there like bawling out, you know. And Malcolm X is like one of my favorites, to be honest. Like, you know, Malcolm X, that's just like one of my favorites. But you said that movie, You Can't Wait. Yeah. That's why I said, you know, make the most of what you have, because people died for things that we take for granted every day. And I realized that if we utilize our time wisely, we can get a whole lot done. If we utilize our time and we structure our time wisely, it's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to make peace with our past. I know that sounds kind of hard. Yes, I love Malcolm X. Let me tell you, I love me some Malcolm X. Make peace with your past. And it's not like something that you could do like drinking a glass of water. No. But let me tell you a simple thought process behind making peace with your past. Deciding to follow your goals. Deciding to not give up on them and pursue them on a daily basis. Deciding to get up out of bed when you feel like you don't want to move. Deciding to go and put yourself out there and network with people. Every time you choose to do something every day that's productive, that's going to make your life better, you are telling your past that you don't have control of me. You're telling those negative thoughts that you don't have control of me. You're telling your fears that I'm not leaning to you, because I know who Christ is and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Once you begin to put yourself out there a little bit, it's going to grow and it's going to grow and it's going to grow and it's going to grow. Just make sure that you're putting yourself out there according to the will of God, because we want to make sure that the things that we are doing are going to be a blessing to his people. So, you know, sometimes we can think about, how is this going to benefit me? I believe, you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Everything we go through ain't for us. There's a lot of stuff that we go through. A lot of my depression wasn't for me. A lot of my anxiety, I used to be a very anxious person. That wasn't for me. You know, verbal abuse, when I went through it, that wasn't for me. You know, obesity, that wasn't for me. I went through these things and I'm still getting over, you know, the weight thing. But I can be honest with you, I absolutely love my body. I feel completely comfortable in my body, and I'm just getting the weight down. I went through these things not so I can be a broken down Constance, not so I can be a person who, you know, who just lets life run over her. I went through these things so that I could be a blessing to someone else. So my whatever pain I still may be having or wrestling with, I have to give that to Christ. I have to give that to the Most High. I cannot lean to my own understanding as to why this and why that happened to me. Because the things that happen to me, the Lord is using. When I see someone who suffers with anxiety, I'm able to talk to them. Because I used to suffer with anxiety on such a high rate that I couldn't even hold a conversation. I was shaking. When I was in college, my anxiety was so bad, somebody would be like, Constance, how you doing? I would be like, I'm doing fine. I used to start hyperventilating easily. That used to be me. That used to be Constance. Somebody just asked me a simple question, I would start hyperventilating. But I overcame that. A lot of demonic control tried to take me out. I overcame that. Low self-esteem. I overcame that. I still got some quirks. I still got some things I need to fix about myself. But I absolutely love myself and I respect myself. So it's doable. It's doable. Getting over your adversity. We're always going to have adversity as long as we live on this earth. This earth is full with sin. We're always going to have adversity. But what makes you a survivor is the fact that you champion on despite of what you've been through. You have that opportunity right now. You have that opportunity to think about where you're at versus where you want to be. Where you're at versus where you want to be. And that's why I chose school, and that's why I chose writing. I'm innately a writer. So I would be remiss. I would be remiss if I did not pursue what Christ has within me. Because Constance is just not no person that's speaking on YouTube. That's who y'all know right now. But that's not who I'm not just nothing wrong with speaking on YouTube, but I'm not just this woman on YouTube. God has so much more in store, and I'm going to be traveling and speaking around the world one day. And the only way I'm going to get to those steps is really to prepare myself to do that. So just like I am brave enough to come on here and tell y'all I've been super anxious in my life, super fearful, super depressed, tons of demonic strongholds, tons of setbacks, dealt with low self-esteem, dealt with pain and rejection and fear. But as the song says, I made it on another day's journey. God kept me here. So I just want you to know that I know it's so many people hurting and focusing on their pain, but that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to focus on our goals, focus on our healing, focus on our mission, focus on the revelation that Christ has given us. And whatever you do, lean not to your own understanding. Lean not to your own understanding. Randy said he can relate. I can agree. I can also say this because I too was that person. Yes. Let me tell you, Christ does some miracles in our lives. I was a person once, y'all see me on YouTube talking freely. I once couldn't even hold a conversation with people. I was so anxious and fearful. I once couldn't even hold a straight conversation. That's why I never wanted to speak. I never really wanted to talk out loud in school and stuff. I was so fearful that I was going to say the wrong thing. I was so fearful that people were going to judge me. I was so fearful that I was going to look stupid. Only Christ can heal a broken heart. Only Christ can change a soul. But the soul must be humble. If the soul is not humble, the soul will remain in a vicious cycle of pain. The soul you have to have a certain level of humility in order to accept what Christ is going to convey to you. You have to be able to let your guard down. See, it's okay if you want to have a guard up with people, but if you have a guard up with God, you got a problem. Thank you so much. Shanika said, this is so encouraging. Yes, I used to not even talk and hold my head. Yes, I used to hold my head down. I thought I had this big negative thought process towards myself, that I was worthless, that I was dumb. And what got me out of that thought process, you have to excuse me because I just came from washing dishes with bleach on my hands. I didn't have the chance to do my nails over again. Y'all see me flashing my nails. I hate getting my nails done because, why am I talking about my nails? I hate getting my nails done because they always chip. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Yes, I used to be that person. So if you knew me then and you know me now, even I've been through a lot of hell, but I'm like a whole nother different person. I'm like a whole nother different person. If you saw me back then, I still used to carry myself. I used to take care of myself and make sure I look good. but I was intensely nervous. And one of my friends from college is going to come on here. He might tell you a little bit about it. I remember this young lady walking up to me randomly. I was in college, and she was like, "Hey, Constance, blah, blah, blah." I started shaking, and she didn't do anything to me. That's how intense my anxiety was. That's how intense anxiety was for me. I started shaking because she wanted to talk to me, you know. Oh, good night, Sister Becky. Good night. It was a blessing to have you on tonight. Yeah, I didn't know how long we were going to be talking about I knew we were going to be talking about that topic, but I guess our brother couldn't make it that was going to also come on the live stream. But so I wanted to talk about that, but I also wanted to give just a kind of like an update about my channel, since I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be posting messages. I'm just not going to be as active like I was daily. You know, I may just probably be doing the live streams because I'm going to be focusing on my education. That's what's important to me, because when things come down, when it comes down to why I'm here and what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm about to expand everything that I'm doing. And so that's going to take me some offline work. That's going to take me some time offline, and that's going to take some work on the back end. So I just kind of want y'all to know that, in case y'all didn't see me as much as y'all be seeing me now. I'm just so thankful, because I feel like no matter what, you know, we do in the future in terms of this channel, everyone that came here at some point in time got the message, because the message is love. The message is forgiveness. The message is togetherness. And as y'all know, as I've been doing this channel, I've always shared other people's channels and all the things like that. The message is community building, community, you know? So, I mean, I got like 500 or something, videos up there, you know, so. But I'm just so thankful for everybody really that has joined tonight. And that's my message. That's my main message, is to pursue what Christ has within you and stop limiting yourself based off your own understanding. Stop leaning to your own understanding. Stop listening to the enemy and stop focusing on the wrong things. You know, if you get love, focus on that, because that's what's going to help heal you, and that's what's going to help prune you, and that's what's going to help take you to the next level. And it doesn't matter what season you're in. Just remember that you're in that current season right now. It doesn't always have to be like that. It doesn't matter how bleak your situation is. It doesn't, if you feel like nobody understands, if you feel like nobody cares, we do care. We do love you. We do understand. Sometimes we understand more than people would ever know, but it's just that with people these days, it's hard. Communication is sometimes hard. Yep. We can't be selfish. And I could just say that I've learned a lot from y'all too. I've learned a lot, and I've taken a lot, and y'all have helped me along the ways too. The whole purpose is spreading love and showing selflessness and being able to confront the pain that lives within you. You know, we would be for naught if we could not honestly confront ourselves and look at that pain and work past it, you know. But every time you complete a goal, whatever that goal is, that's you telling yourself that you're worthy. That's you telling yourself that you are priceless. That's you telling yourself that you are God's gift. That's you telling yourself that you believe in what Christ has given to you. Yeah, so I'm so glad that y'all joined. I didn't know it was going to be like this tonight. I thought we was going to get a little more of crunk. But does anyone else have anything to say? If not, I may just be in the live stream in a little bit. But I'm just I'm really thankful. I'm just very thankful when you think about all the things that God is doing, and the Lord is making it easy. He's making it easy for me to change, easy to go back to school, easy to do the things that I really need to do. And it's humbling. That's all I can say. It's a humbling experience. It's a humbling experience. And also in the future, if y'all have any thought processes towards any videos that y'all want to see, I'll be doing the 90-day challenge video next week, Thursday, I believe. I'll have an update on that. And I just look forward because I'm super excited because I have some pretty special guests that will be coming on in the future. And I'm this legit excited about y'all seeing some of these people and having access to the knowledge and the wisdom that they have to share with all of us. Because this channel is really, I started the Conversations with Constance, honestly, to have people on that could encourage others through their testimonies, through whatever works that they do, through whatever books that they may have. Because yes, I can encourage, but there's other people that can offer. Hey, Ebony. Hey, beloved sister. Greetings. Yes, I was just, we were just kind of almost on an ending of the conversation. But yeah, I was, what was I saying just now? I invited people on. I'm going to have some special guests on that's going to really give some words of wisdom and encouragement and important information to us so that we can grow, we can expand. So be looking for those lives, because it's gonna be live, especially when we have my old friend on. We go it's gonna really be a live. Y'all get to meet somebody who knows me personally. Hey Aaron.
Hey, Constance. How you doing, Queen?
Good, and you? I didn't know if you were still coming on or not.
Oh yeah, definitely. Couldn't miss this for the world. Can you hear me?
Are you on a different time zone than me?
I'm in California.
Oh, Aaron. Oh my goodness, I knew you were in California. Did you know it was Eastern Standard Time?
Yeah. You said Eastern Standard Time. So I mean, because you guys are like 4 hours ahead of us, or
yes, in California, I think it's 3 hours. Because I've been on here since 9. So I don't know. You probably could have gotten mixed up a little bit. And Ebony said, "Oh, I missed the live show. I'm listening in this evening. We're gonna go on for a little bit because Brother Aaron just popped in. Thank you, beloved King, for joining me on tonight. Conversations with Constance. And can you basically introduce yourself to everyone that's here?"
Hello, I'm the real Aaron Collins. I'm on YouTube. Basically, my platform is mostly on Black empowerment, but I also like to talk about other things. But I do talk about Black empowerment and trying to help dismantle the system that we live in, known as white supremacy. A lot of people think that white supremacy is a bunch of folks walking around in Klan outfits and skinhead outfits and stuff like that, but it goes deeper than that. But I'll talk about other things too, more lighthearted stuff as well.
Yes. And so, Aaron, I'm sure you, and I'm glad to have you here, I'm sure you're familiar with the Willie Lynch syndrome or the Willie Lynch letters.
Very much, yes.
We were speaking on it a little bit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was saying that the Willie Lynch syndrome is a result of the Willie Lynch letters, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to get your opinion on it. We were touching on a couple of things earlier in the live where we were basically talking about how we were compared to animals, like we were compared to the horse, how they separated the Black woman and the Black man, how the Black man was dumbed down, but his body was taken care of to do work, and how basically what's playing out now is the generational curses from the past. So do you think that there's any way with what we got going on and the fact that things appear to get worse, are getting worse, are there any things that we can do to kind of like break those generational curses?
Well,
good night, Taylor. Have a good night.
well, as usual, I would definitely say that prayer is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Is the answer. But we also have to do more than just pray. We have to get up and do something too. Faith that works is dead, and so we
Yes.
do have to make a conscious effort as well to do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A conscious effort, like doing what? So what do you suggest that is going to like, I'm always under the guise that whatever we do personally, there's a big benefit or there's a big help to that. So what are some things that you consider that we can do to kind of heal?
Well, for one thing, we could like certain language that we use, like which is a result of Willie Lynchism. Like, have you ever grown up? Have you ever heard people say, "Oh, he got good hair," or "She got good hair," and stuff
Yes,
like that?
I have heard that.
That is definitely a result of Willie Lynchism, because one of the things that they did to get us disunified is to break down subtle differences, and one of those differences was hair texture. Like,
Mm.
my hair in its natural state, it's known as, it's nappy. But see, we've been conditioned to believe that nappy hair is bad, when nappy hair or kinky hair is actually strong hair, it's a good hair. But
Yeah.
we've been so conditioned to believe that everything about us is ugly, is bad. That's why we have so many of us, and this is no shade toward any sisters that are in here, but one of the reasons why a lot of sisters are wearing perms and whatever like that, it is a result of that,
Mm-hmm.
because we've been taught that everything that has to do with being Caucasian is pure, is good. And I'm not sure if I answered your question because I just rambled.
Oh no, you did. You answered my question. That's true because in all honesty, it took me a long time to love my hair and embrace my hair because I have a very thick texture hair.
Mm-hmm.
And even though my mother had longer hair when she was growing up, she still would cut her hair down and wear all kind of weaves and stuff like that. And so with me, I got hooked on wearing hair outside of my natural hair when I was in high school and I went to a dance. And I thought that if I had longer hair, that made me beautiful. I thought that was supposed to be a part of my identity, and that was something that that was not correct. So
Right.
it took me a long time to embrace myself, and I believe
I think I've seen your natural hair.
Those I'm sorry.
I think I've seen you with your natural hair.
Oh yeah, I do wear my natural hair out. I'm just saying it took me a long time to get there because
I like it like that.
Because I was focused on the standard of beauty. I was focused on, you had to look a certain way, or your hair had to be long and all the way down your back. But when you really get closer to the Most High, because you are a believer as well, you start focusing on your inner beauty. And therefore, that inner beauty will be reflected on the exterior. So I can relate because the self-hatred goes deep.
Very deep. And
Very deep.
That's something I think I'm pretty much an expert on, self-hate.
Mm-hmm. You pretty much an expert on that? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see.
That's another video for a whole nother conversation.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Ebony's sister, brother Chad says, I have to go. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for joining, Chad. And Sister Ebony says, yes, we stop embracing our beauty because we were taught to hate ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes. And Brother Aaron, I used to honestly hate myself too.
Yep.
It was like a long, hard road for me to start loving myself and start really trying to invest in my health and my mind. So for you, that process, what got you out of that mindset?
Well, I guess, what? I would have to say that the Lord, and you know what, and he's still working on me, to be honest with you. He's
Yeah.
still working on me.
He's
I'm
still
not
working
saying that
on all of us.
I'm not completely all the way there, wherever there is, but the Lord's working on me, and he's just he just deals with me.
Mhm.
Sometimes I wonder to myself why he still deals with me, because I can be a knucklehead at times. You know, I'm being me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's if it had not been for him in my life, I'm not sure where I would be. And
Mhm.
so and say hello to the chat for me. I didn't want to be rude. Say hello to the rest of
Oh, hey everyone in the chat. Brother Aaron said hi to all this still listening in. He said hi. So you said the Lord is still working on you. Yes, it's a work in progress. Like we're never completely all the way healed. None of us, because we have been through so many. I'm not sure about the things you've been through in your life, but most of us have been through so many trials and tribulations, a lot of heartache, a lot of rejection, a lot of different things. Aaron, our beloved sister Shanika said hi, and our beloved sister Ebony I said hi as well.
Hi,
We
Shanika.
have,
Hi, everyone.
yes, we have been through so many different things in this life, and it's like the pain, even when you think you got through it, sometimes, and Brother Randy said hello as well. He said, salute, Brother Aaron. He
So,
said,
brother
salute,
Randy.
Brother Aaron. We've been through so many things in this life, and it's like the pain sometimes you think you got over something, and then something else triggers what you thought you got over. So I can completely understand where you're coming from, because none of us are perfect. We're all here to love and help and heal each other.
Yep.
So how do you work on that healing process?
Well, I try to encourage myself, try to do things I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this might sound odd coming from a guy, but I look in the mirror quite a bit.
Yeah.
I do look in the mirror quite a bit. I guess I stay in the mirror. I'm not vain, at least I hope I'm not, but I like to look in the mirror and I just like to to encourage myself
Yeah.
at times. Like I said before, you just said the right thing there. You said something very profound. I'm still a work in progress.
Yeah, we
I
all
mean,
are.
I like to look at myself as, say, under construction.
Yeah, we all are. He is
Yeah.
the potter and we are the clay. And our beloved sister Ebony said, we have been traumatized since birth, done of us since conception. That's true, because there's been a lot of traumatization in my life. And I would just like to say to you, beloved brother Aaron, keep on doing the good work of the Most High, because no matter what, we may have pain in our hearts, because let me tell you something, we're human. How could we not have pain living on this earth? How can we not have hurts that we're carrying with us? So it doesn't matter how a person looks or who a person is, we're all dealing with something on the back end, something that is keeping us grounded and is showing us the grace of the Most High in our lives. So I think the best thing that we can do is come together like we're doing now, and having conversations and realizing and being honest about where we're at. Aaron, that's so important for us not to pretend like we're perfect, or we have it all together, or we have all the answers. But if we
Yeah.
have some answers, let's each one teach one. Let's be there for each other.
Yeah.
I love your messages, beloved brother. I've been listening to
I
you for a
appreciate
while,
it.
even before you came on my channel. I came across your channel some time ago, and you always have a positive, loving perspective. And I remember what you said just now about looking in the mirror. I think that's a beautiful thing, and I understand the concept of it without vanity, because I look in the mirror and I say affirmations to myself.
It
I tell
means a lot to
myself,
me.
yeah, scriptures. And brother Aaron, it helps. I take the Bible and I'll say certain scriptures to myself, and it really genuinely does help. You said yes, honest conversations without ego. Yes. Let me tell you something. We lose out when we're operating in ego and we're trying to be better than the next person, or we're trying to prove a point. If we can just have genuine conversations, that's where people win. Because people got to know that we're no better than the next man. We just have the courage to speak up and speak out and be prayerful that it can be a blessing to someone that comes across us. You know, that's the way I look at it. Yeah, so
Amen.
that's true. So what was like one of the most traumatizing things that you heard or you read from the Willie Lynch letters?
Well, one of the most, I guess, for better choice of words, the most interesting things is that how he decided to put the light-skinned slaves against the dark-skinned slaves. Well, to this very day, we are still dealing with colorism within the black community. You ever
Hmm.
play one thing black people were known for? We're known for playing the dozens. And you ever heard the jokes like, "Are you so black that when you go to night school they mark you absent or whatever like that?" Or
Yeah,
you say, oh, you she black. Oh, I mean, we're
yeah.
all black, and we've all been traumatized by that, and it was like conditioning. But that came from Willie Lynch because once again, everything that's been associated with light or light skin or whiteness has always been viewed as being pure and good and
Hmm.
holy or anything like that, and everything dark, or black has been considered to be evil. And
Yeah.
that's just something that we've been going with. I mean, even in listening to some of today's rap music, you hear the rappers saying they want a light skinned girl, they want a, or they call them a red bone, they
Hmm.
want a, or somebody like that, a yellow girl. So it's all part of that Willie Lynchism, and that everything having to do with Caucasian or fairness is, been considered to be good.
Hmm. That's very true. And Shanika just said yes, color and hair. That is very true, Aaron, because that's also like a problem within my family. I'm talking about on my mother's side. Like we had white, of course, white Indian, Cherokee Indian, and then black in the family. But I see that in the side of the family, like they do have a thing about skin complexion, and they
Right.
do have a thing about keeping the family light. Like I see
Mm.
that. Like if you look at my mom's side of the family, even though my mom, if you look at her, she looks like a white woman. My dad is about your complexion, so that's the reason why I'm my complexion. I don't know what it is, but it's an unspoken thing that they have about keeping the family kind of like light. But my mom didn't go by that rule because she married a dark skinned man, you know.
It's called
And
reverse racism.
hmm,
It's called reverse racism. You
yeah,
know, and that's what, if you read the autobiography of Malcolm X, Malcolm said that his
yes,
mom, his mom was a fair skinned woman,
hmm,
because and she was the result of her. I think her mom was raped by a white man,
hmm,
and she was saying that she wanted her kids to have color, so that's why she married Malcolm's father, who was a dark skinned man. And if you know anything about Malcolm, Malcolm had red hair, which was a recessive gene that came from his Caucasian grandparents.
hmm,
So yeah,
yeah.
that was
That it goes deep. And even though like it goes deep because one of the things that my grandma went through, because my grandma is very light skinned, my mother's mother, she used to be picked on when she was in, and it's still, my grandma's 85 years old and it still affects her to this day.
mm.
Just a year ago when I went home, she said they used to call me a bowl of milk,
You
and
said you said she's 85.
yeah,
Oh yeah, she's directly from that era.
yeah. And I think that's the reason why my mom married a dark skinned man, because she also was picked on for her skin complexion
Right.
as well. And I just, to me, it never made sense. First of all, I love melanin. So I always appreciated dark skinned people. You know,
Oh
I
yeah.
never thought that I wasn't, because my dad's dark skinned. My brother's dark skinned, his wife is dark skinned.
Yep.
It never was an issue for me. You know, I always, it was never an issue. but I see with other people around me, it will be an issue. Because like sometimes I would have a dark-skinned friend, and then it would be like a jealousy thing. And I'm like, I didn't get it. Like, I can't help how I'm born, or you can't help how you're born. We should see each other from what's inside the heart. But then when you get a society that tells you you're less than because of your skin complexion, you're less than because you're black, you're less than because all these things, then you live in a society that's telling you that, then you're gonna probably take it out on the person that's close next to you.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's like, Aaron, like with all these shows, that we see on YouTube about, colorism and healing the relationship between the black man, the black woman. Like, do you legit, because I know you be in a lot of those lives, are you seeing any sincere progress?
You talking about as far as colorism?
Yes.
Well, even within the so-called conscious black community, you still have those same attitudes and those same. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It still happens. You still have the Hotep people. They still have these same white supremacist attitudes. They think because they running high behind a dashiki or afro or whatever, they still have the same attitudes. It's some of these black YouTubers do profess they have that.
Yeah.
And there's one in particular that I'm thinking of, and I believe you know who I'm talking about.
Who? Oh, we this. I don't. Oh, I've got like two in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those attitudes still prevail.
Yeah. I think that we and Sister Ebony says light skin is a standard of beauty of black people, but secretly black women are envied for their beauty and their power across the globe. Envy for their beauty and power. Our brother as well. That's why our brothers are under attack.
Exactly. Yes. Matter of fact, I believe in that. There's a saying called "the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice." I believe that.
Yeah. I believe that. I said that last night on my live. I love black women because we were talking about dark-skinned men, and we were talking about how we always, me and some of the other ladies were talking about how we love our dark-skinned brothers, and we were just talking about that on the live. But like, we have so much power, we have so much wisdom, we have so much creativity. We have so much going on for ourselves. I just can hope and pray that one day we can have that togetherness, because it's really serious when you think. I mean, it's really silly when you think about it. Like, we should be it shouldn't matter about who's lighter or who's darker. What should matter is how can we help each other legitimately progress in life.
Right.
What should matter is how we can help each other legitimately. Your brother has a business. Help, be a patron of that business. Your friend. So these little issues, they're directly correlating back to the Willie Lynch syndrome. What are your thought processes on the breakdown of the household and the black woman and the black man?
Well, once again, that came out of Willie Lynch syndrome too, because one of the things, if whoever hasn't read the Willie Lynch letter, you got to read it. It's a complete breakdown of the entire black family dynamic.
Yes.
Basically, what it is, one of the things they did, they pitted the man against the woman, which is why we have the gender wars today. And once again, that's prevalent in the conscious black community as well. I mean, you got, what is it? There's a term we have called beta males and alpha males.
Yes.
There's a lot of these beta males that want to call themselves, since they don't attack the system of white supremacy, they attack someone weaker than them, which is the black woman. And the first thing they want to do, they want to talk about hair and makeup as if that's the problem that we're having today. You want to attack hair and makeup and weave, but you won't go attack these race soldiers who are out murdering you every day and shooting you in the street. You want to go out and attack these people that make these laws. I mean, Roseanne Barr just had her show canceled because she made a
Yes.
racist tweet about a black woman, but you won't go after her. You won't go after that. You rather attack the very woman whose body you came out of for 9 months. Because, and you know, I mean, and I've heard Cynthia G say this before, and I agree. But any man who's more concerned about hair and weave and stuff is kind of suspect to me. I mean, that sounds like something a woman would do. I mean, you call yourself a man, but you're attacking weave and makeup. You might want to check your wrist.
Yeah.
And I know I just said that, but hey, I said it.
No, I mean, we open to freely talk. You're right. I don't think that should be of a man's concern.
Yeah, I mean,
a man. I feel like a man knows what he likes, right?
Yeah.
If you know what you like, you ain't gonna be concerning yourself with what you don't like. So I wouldn't be wasting my energy and time blasting women for wearing weave because I just wouldn't date one. I would just date what I want to date. And
you know what, Constance?
Huh?
You know what, Constance? It's funny you should say that because these same guys will sit up there and say that they're hardcore in the hood and they respect them, but yet they won't go attack the system. And these same dudes will call me a simp for standing up for doing the very same thing that they need to be doing, is standing up for black women. These same dudes call me a simp if you've read some of my comments, because they come after me. I'm probably their worst enemy, but I don't care, because if you're not doing something, if you're not doing something, put it this way, if you're not getting attacked, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense, because I've been attacked a lot. That makes sense.
Okay. Well, welcome to the club. Hey, I'll give you a high five on that one.
Let me get back to some of the comments. Shanika said, yes, Constance. And Ebony I says, I truly believe racism is narcissism. Yes, I believe that too. It's mental illness. Yes. The black family was destroyed because it was invaded for its strong foundation and commitment to family. There's far too many feminine mindset brothers who perpetrate as men. That is true, because I just didn't understand the concept of brothers going in on women like that, when we need to be mainly focused on building each other up. It's easy. You know, it's easy to tear someone down.
I haven't seen so many brothers walking around
to build people up.
I mean, it's so many brothers walking around here now wearing skinny jeans. And you know what? They're even still sagging.
Yes.
Now, if you know the origins of sagging.
Yeah, it came out of prison, right?
Yeah, you want me to break it down for?
Yeah, break it down. Go ahead, break it down for us.
Okay, so sagging, and you're right, Constance. It did come from the penal system. And the reason why they sag, people will say, well, because they won't let you wear belts in prison. Well, no, because they still can hold their pants up. The reason why they sagged in prison meant that you belong to another man. That meant basically for easy access for, and I'm about to get a little graphic, but so he could, get him some. Yeah. Since they don't have any women in prison, well, you gotta get those urges met somehow. So that's what that meant. And that's why these dudes sag. But yeah, these dudes walk around here thinking it's some kind of gangster style or something like that, thinking that's some kind of hardcore style. No, bro. It meant that you were somebody's wife.
Wow. And then the boys out here, you know what's sad, Aaron? This thing has gotten so bad till men are wearing skirts.
Yeah, I know.
Some of the rappers are wearing those skirts, and then I've seen it in our society to where I saw a young man at church. This was sometime last year with one of them long shirts on that looked like a skirt and a pair of skinny jeans. Now he was gay, but I'm just saying, like, he wore almost a dress to church.
Well, you know what? That was also one of the symptoms of the Willie Lynch letter, was the effeminization of the black man.
Yes. Ooh, you know what? That's a good topic. Can you please speak to us about the feminization of the black man? Because that's something that is kind of like hurting my heart. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, because basically, black men in our natural self, our natural state, our essence gives off that pure energy of masculinity.
Yes.
That is one thing that they fear. They fear that an alpha black male. That is what they fear the most. And that is one thing that they have done to dumb us down. Hollywood has done it. I mean, with the buffoonery and the buck dancing black male, the effeminate black male, that is something that they have always wanted to, the image that they have always upheld, because they fear the very essence of black manhood. That's what they fear. I was a few not too long ago. I did a panel on an Information Man show, and it was the panel was titled they called "Getting Back to Black Manhood." It had a picture of John Amos when he was James Evans on the Good Times show.
Yeah.
Well, James Evans, he represented black manhood as it was in the 70s. And see, I grew up with a James Evans type of black man, and that is the type of black man that they fear the most. A black man who is assured, who is confident, who is not going to take anything from this white supremacist system. That is why what they fear so much. They fear it is something about black manhood that they fear. If you notice, they're not doing that in the Latin community. They're not doing it in the Asian community.
No.
They're only doing it in the black community. It's because they fear us. They have, like, when I lived in Chicago, that's where I'm from. The church I went to, the pastor there, he said something that was really profound, that the black community is the sleeping giant in the world. And everything has been done to keep the black community silent. And the black male is the leader of the black community, has been the head of the black community. And anytime when you have something or someone that is a threat to you, you're going to do everything you can to neutralize it. And that's what they have done. Black male passivity is at an all-time high. They have neutralized us to the point where it is unbelievable.
I want to just go back to some of the comments, and let me see here. It says, yes, the brothers and sisters are tearing down the black woman. Ebony says, yes, these brothers will tear down the black woman, but won't stand up to white supremacy. Randy said, AKA breaking the buck. I've honestly haven't heard of that term before, but I think that's in relation to the sagging of the pants, or either I've seen men sagging with no under. What? Butts completely out walking on the street. And then she said, yes, breaking the buck. And then Randy says, ebony eyes, and it still exists today. And then Ebony says, the black community is powerful beyond measure.
Yep.
It is. The black community is powerful beyond measure, but we have to address some psychological things that we're dealing with so that we can get over these hurdles.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to adjust.
Ebony and Randy were very right about what they said. You said that was brother Randy and sister Ebony that said that. They're both right. Because buck breaking is one of the things they did in slavery. Because see, buck breaking is basically you're literally being bred like a dog. They're literally breeding you. That's what buck breaking is. They want to breed you because the black male has always been made to be an oversexed, crazed, nymphomaniac type of person too. So.
Wow, I honestly didn't know about buck breaking. I never heard that term before. I probably heard it before, but I haven't. I know that was kind of mentioned in the Willie Lynch letters, though. Not specifically, I don't remember, but from what he was saying, what they were saying about how he separated the black woman and black male, and how he did them. And
that part wasn't necessarily mentioned. The buck breaking wasn't necessarily mentioned, but it is a part of the history. Because that's why they had us in auctions. You know, like you bring an animal to the auction, a horse. They look us up and down, inspect you, check in your teeth like you were some kind of prized horse or something like that. You know, that's what they did to us.
And Ebony Eye says, Randy, yes, it still exists with the homosexual campaign amidst the community. And then Randy says, yes, it still exists today. You know, that's another agenda that was placed on us, the homosexual agenda. I know we were just talking about the pants, but I think about like so many of us, you got so many good Black women out here that are single. And it didn't used to be like this, maybe even 15 years ago. When I was in college, honestly, I'm kind of old I'm not old, but you know, I'm on the older side. Went to school about 20 years ago. You didn't,
You look about in your
this gay
20s.
thing, huh?
You look like in your 20s.
Oh no, I wish I was in my 20s. Thank you so much. I'm almost 40.
I'm past 40, actually.
You are? Yeah, I'm like, I'm 37. I'm 37.
I'm 47.
Oh, wow. So in college, it wasn't a big thing it wasn't a big thing where I would see a lot of the gay agenda, but now it's like it's out there like crazy. It's everywhere, and it's become the norm so much that I know it has to have an effect on the relationships between the Black woman and the Black man, because you have so much going on within that agenda itself. And it's also helping to break down the family. It's helping to break down the family unit. It's becoming something like something celebrated. So I believe also that there may be people who aren't really gay that are just trying this out because it's been so accessible through Hollywood, through what you see on the TV, through the way that the rappers dress and the way they are effeminate and the way they carry themselves, you know?
Yeah. And it's a shame. It's a serious shame because we come from a royal stock. You know, we come from people who are a proud people.
Yeah.
And it has really broke us down to the point where it's almost like we're not functional. We're like literally inside of I guess, a twilight zone, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost like that. Did you mean to take yourself off camera?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is like that. And Ebony Eyes says something. I mean, I push yes because YouTube was probably censoring it. I'm not sure.
I'll get back on camera. Yeah, I'll get back on camera.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, I see it, Ebony. It says Black men were raped by Black slave owners. Black men were raped by male slave owners to break them. Yes, that is definitely. I have from my readings, I've heard that before, and that's where a lot of this homosexual agenda originated from. And then Randy said, "Ebony Eyes, don't get me started on on that issue. Such a vile agenda." Yes. It's an agenda that breaks down the psyche of the Black man. It causes them to be effeminized. Then you have some men who are actually gay, but they're undercover. So, I mean, you have all these different agendas going on based upon Willie Lynch and based upon slavery that's still playing out in this current present day, and it's affecting our families in a major way. Ebony also said, when I was younger, our Black teen males were masculine and very athletic. Today, the Black male teens look feminine. This is so true. When I walk around, I live not too far from downtown Charlotte. I see the boys, they look so feminine. They have 2 earrings in their ear. They're sagging their pants. And it's not like you're just sagging your pants a little bit. No, they're sagging their pants where almost their whole butts are out. And they're getting this agenda from the rappers. You have some of the rappers that are wearing these skinny jeans, that are wearing dresses. And a lot of times it's an identity issue because a lot of these men grew up without their father in the household for various reasons, which caused them also sometimes to have like effeminate behavior patterns. So this is a real thing, and it's very sad. It's very sad that that we are being so broken down, so psychologically poisoned, I would say. Psychologically.
Oh yeah, it is. It's very sad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we've been broke down so bad we literally have to start, well, I wouldn't say start over, but we have to get our communities back. We have to get ourselves back. We have to get it back together again.
Yeah, we do. Because, that's why I was telling them before you came on, Aaron. And Ebony also said Black women are now under attack with interracial marriage. They need the Black woman to birth their babies. Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Matter of fact, it's an entire IR campaign going on. If you see in certain commercials, and they think they're slick, but I see what's going on. It is a little campaign. You see, if you notice, the white community, white women are having infertility problems. They can't have babies, and the men have a low sperm count. So they need a dose of melanin to get them to keep themselves alive. Matter of fact, that's what some people are even saying about this marriage between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, who I found out are actually 16th cousins.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that, but you know what's you making me think of something I heard somebody say. I don't want to change the subject, but they're also using babies. They're also using oh my goodness, I forgot what you call it from the babies. Not the eggs, but they're using some baby parts for skin cream now too.
Wow.
But that is crazy. Yes, Ebony says, and water down the Black race. Yes, because our genes are very strong. Our genes are very prominent. And for me, I personally feel like, even though I haven't dated a white man, but I've just dated different cultures and stuff, I feel like there's nobody that can really understand me like a brother. But there's very few brothers out here these days that are strong in that way in terms of masculine. Like, I'm a country girl, Aaron, and I don't know what your views on guns are, but we grew up in the country shooting BB guns, and my dad and all family, not hunters, but just country folks that ride.
I love guns. Well, I mean, I don't love them, but I don't have no problem with guns. Matter of fact, before I moved to LA, I lived in Texas for 15 years, and I used to be a concealed carry holder. So wow. I have no problem with guns. I know about gun laws. And yeah, I was born and raised in Chicago, and also lived in Texas. So,
wow. Tell us a little bit about Chicago. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there. I hear people sometimes they call it what, Chirac?
Chirac, yeah.
A guy just got killed recently. Do you know who I'm talking about? Zach TV?
Zach TV, he's a Black YouTuber. Actually, I you know what? Funny thing, I never even heard of him until I heard that he got killed. Yeah. But I heard he was pretty well known. So, but yeah, Chirac, I mean, I'm going to say this. They like to use Chicago as the stomping ground for anything that is bad and negative in the inner city. Chicago, like any other major city, does have its issues, but it's not the it's not the cesspool that they're making it out to be. Yeah, I mean, the thing I'm more concerned about are these little small towns and and these little out of the way, what they call hick towns, where they have a population of like 1,000 or something. I will be more concerned and be more afraid for my safety there. Wow. But they used they like to pick on places like Chicago or South Central LA as urban decay.
Yes.
And when you take the resources out of a particular area, that's also another symptom of white supremacy and Willie Lynchism too. When you take the resources out of a certain community, of course it's going to go in on itself. But yeah, as far as the stuff they're saying about Chicago, I'm not really buying into it.
Yes, and I get what you're saying, because, and then Ebony said our melanin makes us extremely fertile and aids in the babies to latch into the womb. It does. And she said Chicago. I kind of liken it to how we see on TV, how certain countries in Africa, when we see Africa, the continent of Africa on TV, it's always in some sort of negative stereotype. It's always in some, some poor children or need food, or, they depict Africa as this, bad place, but the motherland is actually a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, that's why they can't stay out of it.
So I feel like we should not be so quick to judge a place unless we go there, because I can go to an inner city in Charlotte. There's this place, I forgot the name of it, in Charlotte that's really bad too. Any place, any inner city, there's those same problems.
Yeah, Charlotte, that's where Dylan Roof walked into a church and murdered 9 Black people.
It was in Charlotte?
I believe that was in Charlotte.
I thought that was somewhere else. I could be wrong. No, that was in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, Charleston, okay.
Yeah, that was in Charleston, South Carolina. And Ebony said his murder is on tape. Chicago is under attack because the Supreme Court forced the city to allow concealed carry rates. Yes, I've seen a little bit. I couldn't watch the video, Ebony. God bless his soul. I know nothing about him. I just knew that they said that he was somewhat involved in the Kanika Jenkins case. He was like the first interviewer after everything went down as far as his case concerned.
Yeah, so that's what I heard. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
And some people were saying it could be in correlation to something with that, but I didn't know much about him. It was just sad, because a lot of people said that he was trying to do something positive in the community. So
yeah, they say that he was. They say that a lot of people that he interviewed are also like gang members and things like that, and he just went into some of the most dangerous areas. And I'm thinking, I got a theory about it. He might have showed someone who shouldn't have been seen or something like that. I don't know, but it is sad though. And like I was saying before, that was the first I actually heard of him. You never even heard of him before.
Yeah, people were talking about him. I was on, do you know Mike Larry?
Yeah, Mike Larry, I heard that name.
Live this morning, just listening in for a couple minutes, and then someone put it down in the comment section, and I was like, I don't know, I don't really know this guy, but he was interviewing a lot of rappers and stuff. And Ebony said Africa is so terrible that the Europeans and the Chinese are flocking there. Exactly, Ebony. It's not that terrible if the Chinese are taking over Africa.
They're also impregnating women and abandoning them.
Yes, they're taking it over. And this is something that we, as Black people in America, should have been trying to do, to go back. Because I have a friend, I might be going to Africa next year. I have a good friend, this African.
I'm jealous of you.
He invited me this year, but I couldn't go because I had already used a lot of my paid time off work. He's going for a wedding for his sister. But people put Africa down, but the continent of Africa is a very beautiful place. We just have to research it. But if enough of us African Americans I don't even like that term, to be honest with you, Aaron. I don't even know what to call us. Sometimes I just call us indigenous people of color.
The reason why I think I can explain the reason why, and I know, I'm sure he meant well when he said it, but the term African American was actually coined in the 90s by Jesse Jackson, because he wanted to just give Black people here a sense of pride of where we come, because truth be told, a lot of us do not know the exact specific tribes in Africa that we come from, the exact nations that we come from. So he just basically claimed the whole continent. Because I gotta admit, I used to have a kind of feel a certain way about that terminology, but I do understand it though. I mean, you got people who call themselves Irish Americans or Mexican American, whatever. They have a sense of cultural pride. Well, why shouldn't we?
Yeah, that's true. And Ebony said, as he was doing a documentary on her murder, the suburb where Kanika was murdered is a well-known mob area. Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Chicago is the Italian mafia does have a lot of history in Chicago, Al Capone and not to mention the Chicago crime family, the outfit is there too.
Wow. Wow. Um, I just, wow. I mean, it's just like we have to be so careful because you never know what can happen, really, honestly, Aaron, at any time. It doesn't matter whether you're in city, we're in a place like Chicago or wherever you're at. Anything can happen at any time. But I
Yeah,
was talking about, I love it because I'm seeing some people on YouTube, they're actually moving to Africa. And I love that they're actually moving and making a life over there in certain areas and making a beautiful life over there. I wish that would have been some of the sentiments that more of our people would have had. It would be beautiful to. My grandmother went to Africa a couple of years ago, and she said that when she went there, she felt like it was just like coming home. She was like, it just felt like it was so home for her, is what she said. It was such a beautiful experience. She said why she was there. She went there on a missions trip. Yeah, so I think part of the problems with us as Black people, we stop educating ourselves too. We stop we're not pushing ourselves as hard. Not to say we have to be something in society, because I'm totally against like trying to chase the will and be what other people want you to be and have the white picket fence and all those things. But I think that with everything, because you are a person that I know that you love history, you love culture just like I do. With all of the things that our people have been through, I feel like we should have more essential sense of a push to be that more much greater, considering the things that they were able to accomplish and the circumstances that they were under while they accomplished those things.
yeah. I mean, we just have to get back to our original cultural greatness.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do. We can do it. And I've said this before. I've made this comparison. I know I'm talking about a movie, but I'm actually talking more metaphorically
Yes.
that, but we can have Wakanda right here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And someone might say, yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen, but I'm thinking about the mindset. Just think about what I'm saying. This the
Yes.
mindset,
No,
because
no, I
what
get
it's
you. I'm
saying is
there.
that,
I'm there.
yeah, because we are very intelligent people. I mean, we're the original scientists. We're the original mathematicians. We're the original everything.
Yeah.
We are the original people.
Yeah. Most
And
definitely we are. And that's
let's
why
see,
there's been a attack on us since the get-go.
yeah,
You know?
we're the reason why they have life. I mean, think about it. It was black women that fed white babies when their own moms didn't want to nurse feed them or breastfeed them. It was
Right.
black women that did that.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, society owes the black woman a great deal of thanks
Yeah.
because
And I also think about how the women are getting, some of the white women are getting butt implants, lip injections now. But you think
it's,
about years ago what was done to, was it Sarah Bartman? Sarah Bartman? You
oh
remember
yeah, Sarah Bartman, that
who
Venus
was,
Hottentot.
yeah, Venus Hottentot, the woman who was placed
Mm-hmm.
on display
Mm-hmm.
because of her big butt and her body, and
Mm-hmm.
that was like looked at as like, wow, was crazy to them.
Yeah,
Now you flash forward to now,
yeah,
the things that we've been
she,
crucified for, our big lips, our big
yeah,
noses, our wide hips, our big bottoms, our voluptuous curvy bodies, the things that we've been crucified for, the things that we've been made to feel like was ugly, was nasty, was too
yep.
much.
Well,
Now
Constance,
now that's hot. Now
well,
everybody
Constance,
want big lips. Now
I'm gonna say this,
everybody want,
Constance.
you know?
Yep. Hey, Constance, I'm gonna say this. Those
Uh-huh.
wide hips that they were talking about, those wide hips gave birth to an entire nation. Remember that.
Yeah.
Entire nations were birthed out of those wide hips. And yeah, I know who Venus Hottentot was. They treated her like a circus attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And but now they say that her parts, her butt and vaginal areas are actually on display at some museum in Paris, France, the Museum of Mankind.
Which is very sad. Can you imagine what she went through? And Ebony said,
Oh, Tabinga was another one.
Huh?
Oh, Tabinga was another African, a male. He was also put on display.
Wow. Wow. I just knew about, I just knew about her from a long time ago.
Yeah, Sarah Bartman.
I remember reading Sarah Bartman. A lot of people don't always talk about it, but I remember her from a long time ago and her body being displayed. Matter of fact, I watched the movie on her. I don't know if you watched her movie.
Sarah Bartman, I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, I watched a movie on her. They have documentaries on her on YouTube as well. And Ebony said, I want to move to Africa, just learn my ancestral roots are in Ghana and also in Nigeria as well. And then she also said, now white women all want big lips, big butts. They shamed us because they envied us. Yeah. And there's some black women too that are getting the butt implants. I just don't understand it. I just think it's crazy. I just think it's crazy to alter your body. It's like you don't respect what God has given you. It's nuts. It's like the Lord made you. He said in the Bible that we were made in his image and that we were wonderfully and fearfully made. So I don't understand why people don't see that about themselves.
Yep. I mean, black women were relegated from being queens and monarchs to now they're being called B's and H's and stuff like this. And
you know what's sad? They take on that name of a B. Like people take on that like it's cool. Like even when I was younger, I never thought it was cool for somebody to call me a B. I never thought it was cool for somebody to, like I wasn't really called those things a lot, but I never, how some women, they like, what's up, B, and all that kind of stuff. I never liked that. I hated that. The degradation in that. And I had to learn, because it was in my family, we used to use the N-word. I had to learn to not use the N-word because that was something
I'm guilty of using it.
I'm sorry?
I'm guilty of using it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we used to, I'm just like, all these things, when we think about it, is hurtful. Now you wonder why people are walking around half crazy. People are walking around depressed. People are walking around with so many mental illnesses. And it's just not the black people. When we're talking about the black people today, people are walking around not really knowing themselves because some of us were removed from our original culture. So, and Ebony says, I ended a childhood friendship because she called me a B. Yeah, I don't feel like the reason why I call the people on my channel kings and queens is because I'm not perfect, but I want to reverence them and I want to show them that there is greatness within you. We need to celebrate each other. That's why it's my purpose to always create a place of love and compassion, because there's not enough love and compassion in the world. We all come together understanding that we all have struggles, we all have problems, we all have trials and tribulations. But if we can love on each other, respect each other, we can also be able to take a part in each other's healing as well.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We've been, let's say, we've been under this system for so long that it's caused us to go in on each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yep.
It has. And I think a lot of times when we talked about self-hate, Aaron, because you said that was something you dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with self-hate. But Black people as overall, we deal with a tremendous amount of self-hate, and that self-hate keeps us from loving one another appropriately. Randy said it's like the N-word, a term of endearment. Yeah, it is like it isn't, but the rappers have taken it on, and and they made it cool. Now white people are saying it, even though it was already, it's not a term of endearment. It's not genuine love. And
It's not.
the way we're supposed to approach each other, I always try to affirm people, no matter who they are, no matter whether they like me, no matter whether they never talk to me again in my life. I want, whenever you come across me, I want to be a positive affirmation for you, because that's what Christ has called us to be for each other. So these bad terms like B, N-word, slut, hoe, that's nothing but the work of the enemy, placing a identity on you. And if you believe or embrace that identity, you another lost cause.
Yeah. Matter of fact, you got like, even if they try to change alter the word, it's still the same word. It don't matter if you put an ER at the end of it or A at the end of it. And you've even heard some people even break it down in an acronym saying, oh, it stands for never ignorant getting goals accomplished. I mean, it's still the same word.
Exactly.
And the
It still
reason,
has the same sentiment. It still has the same power, the same hatred. And with words, as we understand, a lot of wording is spells, A lot of people are under different spells because of the music that they listen to. Because
you got people like Amber Rose out here doing slut walks, and girls are embracing that. And
I was gonna bring that up because she had like slut, hoe all painted on her shirt and everything like that. And she says she's using that as empowerment, but that's not empowerment.
Yeah.
That's not. And Ebony said, I too am guilty of using the N-word. I used it in reference to ignorant people of all races. I haven't used it in a while, but I was guilty of using it like last year. And the thing is, it's like, it was cool when I grew up in my household to use it, but this is the thing, I try to be cognizant of what I say. I try to be cognizant of what I say, because I realize that there's power in words. Like I said,
it is.
There's power in words. Life and death is in the tongue.
The Bible says that. Matter of fact, we grew up saying this. Oh, sticks and stones may break my bones. Words may never. That's a lie. Words do hurt.
I grew up in an abusive situation where I was verbally abused, and that did a lot of work on me. We were talking earlier about self-hate, and it made me hate myself, like literally, like hate myself. So I know the power of words. That's why I try to be cognizant when I'm speaking, and I try not to let hate or negativity rule me. So like if I want to communicate with somebody and I know it's going to be negative, I'm going to have to chill out in that conversation sometimes, because I don't want to let the enemy get control, and me lean into my own understanding. Words are so much powerful. Words are spells. Y'all look that up. You know what? Look up the etymology of words. Look up the etymology of some words. It's very powerful. And it's programming of our subconscious minds. So we have to be cognizant of not only the things that we think normally, just, peacefully or positive things. We have to be cognizant of our subconscious mind and what's in there, and cleaning that up. So that, the whole point, like, I believe all it takes is one person to make a change. Look at Malcolm X. You see what I'm saying? Like, I loved him, I think all it takes is one person. So if we can be cognizant of the words that we say and our actions and our behaviors, and we can create a positive household, positive marriages, then that's one more positive thing that we can add to the world, versus the hundreds and thousands of negative relationships that people are adding to the world,
Yep.
Yeah. So words are very powerful. That's why I started looking at the etymology of words, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe what this word means.
The Bible also says this too about the tongue, that man has tamed all manner of animals. I'm sure I'm paraphrasing it, but the tongue he hasn't tamed at all. That tongue could start is like a spark set in a forest, and then that spark becomes a big fire, and
Yeah.
destroys everything in its path. And
Yes.
that's exactly how your tongue is. You could literally kill people with your tongue.
Yes. Oh, I know. I know. I know because my spirit was broken by a lot of things that was said to me. And Randy said, I abhor those words. I train myself daily to stay away from saying things mean and hurtful things too. I do too. Another thing for me, Randy, is learning to like separate myself from people who aren't, who aren't positive, who don't mean me any well, who don't
Yep.
genuinely love me. You
Yep.
know, things people say. Yeah, things people say. And words do hurt. Like I said, Aaron, I grew up and my mother said some things to me and it stood with me to this day. People
Right.
said some things to me. I still remember things from a little child. So when people say sticks and stones may break my bones, words will never hurt me, that is a lie.
It
Especially if you
is.
love and you hang on to every word that the person that you love says to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because with love and your heart being open to someone, that gives them room if they want to use to manipulate you to some degree. So
Yep.
words do hurt. We must be cognizant of our words. And people who don't speak life into our lives, we
Yeah.
gotta let them go. You have
Words hit
somebody
harder than a
who,
fist.
mm-hmm. Yep, they're not easy because it took a long time for me to love myself. And it took a long time for me to get certain words off of my forehead and to realize that I wasn't the way that the enemy was trying to convince me that I was.
Yep.
So words are extremely powerful. That's why I started looking up the etymology of words. And when I started looking up the etymology, and I realized a lot of things that people were speaking were spells. A lot of the sermons, some of the preachers were using even were spells over the people.
Yeah.
Like it was mind-boggling. That's all I can say. It was mind-boggling.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what do you think some of the things are that help you maintain your masculinity as a Black man?
Well, I always known. I guess I've always been secure in my manhood
Mm-hmm.
because, and then at the same time, I carry myself in a certain manner to where I don't have to even be in these types of positions because, for one thing, there's the squeak. You heard the expression, the squeaky wheel is the one that needs the oil.
Yes.
Well, if you're a man, then you shouldn't have to be going out and saying I'm a man and all that beating on your chest. Just be a man.
Yep.
It's simple. And see, being a man, then a lot of these guys, they have it twisted. Oh, they think that being a man is sleeping with as many women as you can. No, being a man is like handling up on your business and take care of your responsibilities. And yeah, I admit I've fallen short in these areas too. But see, that's an aspect of being a man right there. Admitting when you're wrong.
Yeah.
So being a man is more than that because see, I see a lot of guys in men's bodies, but they're actually little boys mentally.
Yes. I know some guys that are not emotionally mature.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and it's there's nothing I used to think of myself, Aaron, as a person that could help people. And I do still think I can help people. But there's some people that you won't be able to help. And
Right.
you gotta let it go that you can't help a certain person see the truth or something.
Some
So
people, yep.
mhm,
You
there's
just
a
gotta
lot.
pray for them.
Yeah, you just gotta pray for them. There's a lot of women that have never grown up either. A lot of people are going through things that they've dealt with in their past, and they're not letting anybody know, but it stunt their growth emotionally. They're
Mm-hmm.
still a child. They may be 45, but they still a 16-year-old child inside. They may be
Ooh.
32, but they're still a 5-year-old child.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thank the Lord for discernment. And I thank the Lord for you basically showing me the error of my ways because
Yep.
we are here to be lights and to drop jewels, but we don't have to see what happens after that jewel has dropped. after we have planted that seed, as long as we keep going down the road, you know? So that was a lesson that I learned the hard way. That was a lesson that I learned through spiritual attacks. That's a lesson that I'm still learning today. So I think it's a powerful thing, you know. Like you said, you don't have to let people know or sound the alarm that you are this thing. It's just that they'll know that you are that, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a certain essence that a man carries.
Mm-hmm. Yep. A certain essence. You're right. So, Aaron, I'm about to close this up.
I'm so glad. I'm so honored and sorry to be late.
Oh no, you're fine. I didn't know if you were still coming. I didn't know if you had the right time. I said it was Eastern Standard Time, but I'm just glad that you came on. I was just so thankful because I know that this is something that you have covered before. And so, do you have any closing statements? And can you also let everyone know where they can find you?
Yeah, you have a beautiful smile, by the way. You have,
Thank you.
You're a beautiful woman. You know, you have a nice round face.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate the compliments. I appreciate the love. Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, everyone could find me at The Real Aaron Collins. Just go on YouTube, The Real Aaron Collins. So, and yeah, like I said, I talk about my platform is Black empowerment. At times, sometimes I can get controversial, but it's all good. But one thing I definitely do promote is my faith in Christ. I'm not afraid. I don't shy from that. I don't shy from that at all. So if you hear me say something or do something that's not exactly Christ-like, just pray for me. That's all. You know, just say a prayer for me. Don't judge me. I get that enough.
Yeah. Well, you know, Aaron, we're all human, and like none of us are perfect. You know, some people try to portray that they're perfect, but they're not perfect. We're all human. And so I think, you know, like I said at the beginning, he's the potter and we are the clay. He's carving us throughout this process. So there is going to be a lot of trial and error throughout this process.
Was that Paul that said this, that he was the chief of sinners? Who was that said?
Let me see. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, beloved sister. They said he was the chief of sinners.
Yeah, because if he's the chief of sinners, then I'm the 4-star general.
Oh no, Aaron. Oh no. Wait a minute. Let me look it. I'm looking it up now. Let me see here. Randy probably would know. Hey, Sister Alexis, it's good to see you on, beloved sister. Randy probably would know. It's Psalm 68:25. In front are the sinners and them, the musicians. Wait a minute. No, this is not the one. No, I'm looking up the wrong one. Let me see here. But no, I'm not familiar with that. One moment here. But yeah, Aaron, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. It was in Christ came into the world and sinner. Why am I? No, I don't see it. I'm looking at Timothy now. I might be able to find it later. Somebody else is thank you. Glad you're still live. Yes, thank you. It's good to see you, Sister Alexis. Randy, do you know that scripture that Brother Aaron was just mentioning? I was trying to look it up really quickly on my phone, but I wasn't familiar with it. You said, is it Paul that said he was the chief of sinners?
Yeah, I'm asking, was it Paul that made that statement, or?
I don't know, to be quite honest. Randy might know, and I'll look it up. And if I can't find it right now, I will certainly email you. Oh, yes, that's a scripture that I just found, 1 Timothy 15. That's the one that I found, but I wasn't sure about it. It says, here is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. Christ came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am the worst. I just found that, but I wasn't sure if that was the one. Yes, amen.
Well, I'm seconding him, whoever he was.
Uh-huh.
I'm second to him as being the worst of sinners.
Yeah. Well, we all have sinned. We all have sinned, and none of us are perfect. But the thing is, are you genuine? You know, once we genuinely are giving the Lord everything, that's when we begin to get cleansed. Because we all have done some things in our life that are terrible, but seeking forgiveness, seeking healing, you know, it's a part of our story to have redemption. So it doesn't matter what your past is. The only important thing is your future, where you're going in your future, what Christ has called you to do, learning from those mistakes, using them to help other kings, other brothers, you know, help them up. So whatever your powerful testimony is not necessarily just for you. It's for the people that Christ is going to place in your life to help them heal along the way too. That's what I was talking about, those seeds. You know, we place these seeds out here. We're not going to necessarily see the trees grow, right? But we place the seeds, and then you let Christ water them. You know, there's seeds of greatness in all of us, and you never know, because of your situation, how you could be a great impact on the next king. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about your past, because everybody has a past, but it's about your future and where you're going in your present. That is going to make the difference in your life overall. So I would just say, please keep standing strong. Please keep trusting the Lord. Please keep walking in faith and walking in favor, and just knowing that, of course, that you are loved beyond measure. You know, and your past is just the past. Use it to be a blessing and a teaching and a lesson, you know.
Thank you, Queen Warrior Constance. That means a lot.
You're very welcome. So, any closing remarks? Huh?
I just love that smile.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Did you have any closing sentiments regarding the Willie Lynch syndrome?
We just need to just break the effects of it. We got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah. We do. I just want to say to my people, there's so much division. There's so much hatred. There's so much jealousy. There's so much anger. There's so much fear. But these are things that the enemy has placed within us to keep us divided. As I said on my stream last night, when we begin to face ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, deal with all the issues that we have, you know, whatever you are struggling with, it could be fear, it could be pride, it could be rejection, it could be the ego. Deal with yourself now, because we got to deal with ourselves now so that when judgment day comes, we will be prepared, because we ultimately want to ascend. But how can you go higher if you're not heeding to the warnings that you currently have in your life, and you're not changing to live genuinely according to the will of God? So I just want to thank you, the real Aaron Collins, for joining me on tonight. It was genuinely a blessing. I am so glad that you came on. I'm just thankful for your presence, and keep up the great work and keep on doing what you've been doing, beloved brother.
Thank you so much, Queen Constance. I'm very honored that you invited me to share your platform. And to everyone in the chat, I love you all. Keep me in your prayers. Keep Warrior Queen Constance in your prayers. Definitely support her. She's an encouragement. And in this world that we live in called YouTube, we need some encouragement. We need some positive people, because it's just so much going on out there.
Thank you, beloved brother. Well, I'll take care, and Thank you all for joining. Again, Sister Alexis, thank you for coming in. And thank you, Randy. Thank you, Ebony. Thank you to all the people that joined throughout the night. We love, respect, and appreciate all of you. Until we speak again, thank you for joining Conversations with Constance. Shalom.
Shalom. Amen.